Hi, personal leadership students. We are going to talk about habit 6. So we're moving along in our book here, habit 6 of 7. What is it to synergize? Synergy is a common business term, and it really means that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So thinking about, two people working as an individual, when they work together, they can create more than they could if they just worked alone. In order for synergy to happen, trust has to be present. So you have to trust that the other person is smart enough to do the job, that they are able to ask for help when they need it. And so that's really important, as well as making sure that you and the other person or group of people, that you have a high level of emotional intelligence, that you're emotionally mature, you are self-aware, and that you understand who you are, how you relate to other people, your strengths, your weaknesses. And so that working together actually creates more than it does by working alone. If someone is not emotionally intelligent, they're emotionally immature, they are more concerned about protecting their job, protecting the information that only they have, synergy is not going to happen. So another way to look at synergy is your relationships, your personal relationships. So you could do everything by yourself, and sure, you would experience it and you would understand your point of view in that experience. But there's so much more to having multiple people involved in something, or two people in a relationship creating different thoughts, additional things that weren't there, weren't present, weren't even possible when the people were doing things individually. And so it's a really good thing in the business world to take a look at who are some of the people that are better than you in areas. They have strengths that you don't have or are in the process of developing. And if you're a secure person, you want to be on a team with those people. You want to be open to their influence, as well as knowing that you have gifts and strengths and skill sets that other people don't have, and that you also are valuable. So keep that in mind. So what does synergy mean for organizations? It means that departments are openly communicating with each other. They have this sort of servant mentality. How can I help this person? How can I get the information that they're asking for? Get it to them quickly so that they can do their job. And so thinking about the organization's goals and not just thinking about protecting your job, protecting your department. Departments and individuals have a very vulnerable approach in that they're still able to learn. They still have ways that they can assist other people. And it's about, how is this helping the organization? So I may have to work with people I don't necessarily enjoy working with, or I have to work with another department, or I have to be on a committee with people who I don't necessarily enjoy working with or don't think are up to the job. But the thing is, they're never going to be up to the job unless you take part and show them what it is to be a resourceful employee, to be a smart employee, to be an employee who knows the processes, who knows the procedures, who knows the field, who knows how to communicate, who knows how to create a collaboration of individuals that works. If you think about really good sports coaches and how they take, especially in basketball, just individual strong personalities and get them to work as a cohesive unit, running cohesive plays for the benefit of the team. It can't be about the ego of one person or the coach. It has to be a group dynamic process, and that you have to care and you have to get your employees and other people you work with focused on the goal at hand, the bigger goal. One example of two companies that came together, one was acquired by the other, but that came together and created more together than they ever had apart, was when Google acquired Android. And this was back in 2005, but it was so successful. And when you think about, merging with another company, or one company acquiring a different company, you're talking about two completely different ways of managing processes, goals, and outcomes, and really just relate like what the business does as its core service, as its core product, and to take those two separate entities and mold them into one, especially in an acquisition where people are most likely going to some people are going to lose their job because of potential duplicate roles. Looking still at creating that synergy, how can we come together, get over the rocky parts, and blend what we're doing, even in, as I say, that blended families, right? Two different ways of doing things coming together. It really takes a lot of respect, it takes a lot of listening, and it takes people thinking about the third alternative. Okay, that alternative, that solution that nobody really knows prior to having lots of conversations, prior to working together, but that third alternative. So you have your solution, your ideas, the other party has their solution, their ideas, and really looking at listening and coming up with that third alternative, that win-win. So synergy, is achieving it is a pretty risky thing, because you can't hold to the way things were done in the past or the way that you see every method happening. It's about the results, it's about the outcomes. And on page 314 of our book, Covey describes how a fresh look, a fresh way of running an annual planning meeting turned into something really exciting for the company. So as the consultant, Covey said, let's just not go in and have kind of the same old process where executives get in front of the other executives and present on a topic that they're really passionate about, present their point of view, and then defend it. Essentially, that's what a question and answer session is all about in this case, defending your ideas, your research, your thoughts. He said, why don't we have everyone research on the topic, on their position, and then anonymously submit these white papers that every other executive is going to be required to read. So everyone's going to come to this annual planning meeting prepared. And when we get there, we will not be attacking certain individuals or certain personalities, certain departments, because we already are just given the ideas, and we already are coming in from the point of view that we don't know who thinks or feels what. And so when all of the executives got to the planning session, they really came with no other agenda but to listen to each other and talk through a lot of these different ideas and different positions. And it was really successful. It was really fresh and energizing, where because they were so open and non-defensive, that a new mission was created for the company. When you're dealing with a situation where change needs to happen, and maybe one particular party isn't excited and pro the change, then you want to think about using a force field analysis. And this is something that Lewin came up with, and said that in any state of being, in any relationship, in any way that a company is performing on a given day, there are both driving forces and restraining forces, and those are pushing against each other to create this equilibrium system. And if you want change to happen, you need to increase the driving forces. What are the reasons for the change? Why are we doing this? What are the positive outcomes that we're hoping for, or what is the change in law that we have to now abide by? And so thinking about increasing that information, increasing the driving forces, but at the same time, to get the equilibrium to shift, you need to decrease the restraining forces. What is motivating your employees not to want to get maybe in agreement with this change that's happening? What are the factors that are pushing against moving this equilibrium from where it is now to where it needs to be? So talking about what it is that employees are concerned about gives you the opportunity in this kind of situation to hear about those restraining forces. And even if you can take just one of those restraining forces and decrease it, it's going to move the equilibrium. So don't feel like you have to change everything or address everything. Just go in with an open mind, thinking about what can I decrease in terms of the restraining forces coming against this situation or coming against me. So thank you, and be sure to read through Habit 6. I think you'll enjoy it.